Hey, good morning, Heights Church family. Pastor Ryan here with your devotional on this wonderful Thursday. We're going to be reading from the book of John, chapter 9. I have the ESV version in front of me in my Bible, but I'm going to read from the New Living Translation. I just like how it's read here, or how it reads here. Jesus heals a man born blind. This is the story. So starting verse 1, as Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. Rabbi, his disciples asked him, why was this man born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins? It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins, Jesus answered. This happened so the power of God could be seen in him. We must carry out the task assigned us by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. But while I am here in the world, I am the light of the world. Then he spit on the ground, made mud with saliva, kind of gross if you ask me, and spread the mud over the man's eyes. He told him, go wash yourself in the pool of Siloam, which means sent. So the man went and washed and came back seeing. His neighbors and others who knew him as the blind beggar asked each other, isn't this the man who sits and begs? Some said he was, and others said, no, he just looks like him. But the beggar kept saying, yes, I am the one. They asked him, who healed you? What happened? He told them, the man they called Jesus made mud and spread it over my eyes and told me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash yourself. So I went and washed, and now I can see. Pretty incredible story if you ask me. I mean, the method of healing, did Jesus have to spit in the ground and make mud? I don't think so, but I don't think that's really the point. I think it's just, it's just a descriptive part of the story. But what I want to make focus of here is in verses 2 through 4. When the disciples ask Jesus, they're curious, I guess. They're like, Jesus, was this man born this way because of his sins or his parents' sins? This was a very common belief back then. A lot of people thought if you're born with a deformity, or if you, like leprosy, or being born blind, or maybe without a limb, you were considered a second-rate citizen. And you weren't viewed very fondly. There wasn't really a fond view of you, per se. And Jesus flips that world upside down. He says, no, it was not because of his sins or his parents' sins. That had to shock the disciples, if you ask me. They had to have been like, wait, we've been believing this whole time, but you're telling us otherwise. Jesus then says, this happened so the power of God could be seen in him. This is an interesting thing that Jesus says. And Jesus is not saying that like this man was, God, I don't think God wishes us to experience pain or discomfort in the world, but we live in a broken world. We live in a world full of sin, and that comes with so many things. Like the earth is sick. We experience sickness. There's so many things that I know God, it was not part of the original design of God. But in this moment, Jesus knew what kind of power of God could be seen in him. And so Jesus took someone who was considered lowly in that time and healed him. And what does that do? When the people that were following Jesus, they were so captivated by the fact that there is this man who calls himself the Savior, the light of the world, and he's healing everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. And that was his mission, because Jesus says this in verse 4. He says, we must quickly carry out the tasks assigned us by the one who sent us. So Jesus is starting to get this message out there, like, hey, if you're followers of me, if you claim to live after in such a way to follow myself, then you know that there's a task ahead of us, that the good news needs to be spread, that healing has come, that their hope has come. Jesus is the fulfillment of all these things that were promised back in Isaiah and with David. And like Jesus was the fulfillment of everything. Because he says, the night is coming and no one can work. He's speaking about the end. But while I am here in the world, I am the light of the world. So Jesus is not only just claiming to be the Savior, claiming to be the light of the world, he is also doing the work that God has set before him. And I just want to challenge you today, like, no matter where we are at in life, there are things that we might have blind spots about. I'm kind of thinking of the disciples here. They probably were like, oh, it's just another blind guy just begging for money, begging for food. But Jesus saw it as an opportunity to love and to serve those who were lowly. Could we have eyes like that? Could we have a heart of discernment like that? To love others? Because there's a task ahead of us. If we claim to be followers of Jesus, we're not. This is not just good news for ourselves. This is good news for others. So I want to challenge you today to share something encouraging with someone. Be the light. There's a task assigned ahead of you. And Jesus is coming back, but until then, we have work to do. Hope you guys enjoyed just reading the word this morning. Pray it blesses you. Pray it encourages you. We'll see you soon.